Hello, this is Dayan Balevski with Artificial Animation. You may know me as Borovez, and I am part of the graphics team at artificialanimation.com. You probably haven't seen me before in any of Ronald's tutorials, but I'm usually there in the background helping out with his graphics. So people have been requesting a logo tutorial, and people have been mentioning they wanted it in Photoshop. But I'm pretty sure that people don't know that they should be using Illustrator to create logos, not Photoshop. Photoshop is mainly for editing graphics, adding effects, and anything else of that sort. Illustrator is for creating high-quality vector graphics, which is used for logos, so it's easily resizable to any size. Usually, people who want their logos done, they want high-quality renders, vectors, and they require Illustrator for that. So I'm going to use Illustrator instead of Photoshop to create this logo. So basically, I'm going to pick any logo I found on the internet. Since I'm not here to create my own logo, I'm just going to use somebody else's logo and show you how to make it. And from that, you guys will be able to learn how to create your own logos, and hopefully you'll be a little bit experienced how to edit nodes and use the pen tool, because that's going to be very important in this tutorial. So I would recommend checking out a pen tool tutorial, how to use it, and how to edit nodes, etc. So let's show you what we're going to be editing today, or creating. This is a logo I found on the internet. It is a Vanguard. I'm not sure where it's from or what its background is, but it's a nice lion vector. So the original image is very small, and you're usually going to encounter low quality logos on Google. So if you want to ever recreate a logo, you're going to have to work with it from being very small. So very small, and usually a JPEG. Most of the time you're going to want it to have no background, and in this case it has a yellow background, which is not good if you're going to be using it for any purpose at all. Really, you're going to need it to put it on different backgrounds and eventually use it on your website, etc. But I wouldn't recommend just copying a logo off the internet and using it on your website. So just find any logo, or if you want to create your own logo after this tutorial, but I'd recommend following my lead. So just find a logo and we'll begin. Okay, so we're going to start a new project here. So once you have found your logo, download it, put it on your desktop, and open up Illustrator. By the way, I'm using Illustrator CS4. It's not the newest one, but it's good enough. The newest one, CS5, and eventually CS6, is currently in beta, but once it's released, they're all basically the same. Just CS5 and CS6 have a bit more features, but they're not very important for this tutorial. Okay, so once you have downloaded your logo, you want to drag it into a new document file, which you can do by using Control-N or going up to File and selecting New. So it doesn't really matter what you work with. You can work with a very small canvas, but I like to make everything big. So start off by making a 1500 by 1500 canvas, since this is going to fit in a square box, not rectangular. You don't want to worry about bleed or orientation, just leave everything as it is. And units you can change the pixels if you want, but points is usually what I use. And name it to whatever you want, doesn't really matter. Okay, and click OK, and now you have a new canvas. Okay, now you want to take the logo and drag it into your canvas from your desktop. Or you can import it, but there's really no point, just drag it into your canvas. Now, to make it easier to work, we want to make it bigger. So what you're going to do is, you're going to select it. Once it's selected, you want to hold Shift, and then grab a corner and just pull it out. It's going to become distorted and pixelated because it's a JPEG, and that's fine. We just want it bigger so we can trace and see more detail when we're tracing. So now the first thing we want to do is we want to lock this so we don't play around with it and move it around. So we're going to select it and go to Object and Lock Selection. And now you can't select it or anything. Later I'll show you how to unlock it and etc. So now we want to start tracing it. You're going to need the pen tool for this, and you can click P on your keyboard or just select the pen tool on your toolbox on the left. And let's begin. What you want to do is start usually from the head, from the main part, and then work your way around. So I'm going to start from the tip of the nose, and you can zoom in by holding Alt and using your scroll wheel. So just create a node on the tip of the nose and trace around. At this point, I have a stroke and a color that I'm going to be that I'm currently using, but I want to remove that because it's getting in my way. So right now on the right side I have an appearance window, and it says stroke and fill, or you could just edit it up here in the color palette. This top part, this foreground box is for your fill, this background is for your stroke. You want to select stroke, and then you want to click none. And once you've done that, you want to click none for your foreground color as well, so there's no fill or border. Later we'll add it in, but right now it's just getting in our way. So the tooth has to be bent a little bit. So what we want to do is just select the tip, make a node on the tip of the tooth, and while you're still, after you click, you want to hold your click and just pull out, and you'll be able to stretch it any way you want. And we just want it to be a little bit bent because the tooth isn't straight. And once I made a second node up here to connect it to the jaw, I want to select this so I can fix it over here so it's rounded on the inside. What I want to do is grab this node and pull it up so it curves around the edge. Just continue following the outline. So you want to click and hold and pull, and just pull it so it goes very close to the edge. And just want to continue doing this. You want to grab that node and fix it with Alt. Make sure you're grabbing your nodes, because sometimes if you click on the outside you get an error message. And if you deselect your node by accident, you want to select it again, you have to find with your mouse where you've created your path, and so you want to select on the path, otherwise you won't be able to select it since we don't have any fill. So I've selected it, and then if you want to continue from that node here that you left off with, you want to select the pen tool and just click on the node. You're going to see a little /, and when you see that, that means you're going to continue from that node. So click on that and continue. If you make a mistake, just click outside. So you deselect everything and just do Control Z, and you'll be back. And if you want to position the node at a 90 or a 45 degree angle, you can hold Shift and it'll spin around 45 or 90 degree angles. Otherwise, you can just move it around however you want, but you can snap it into positions. So I'm just snapping it right now so I can get a 180 degree. And continuing, snapping it again at 180. And this side needs to be pulled a bit, so I'm holding Alt and Shift at the same time and just pulling it out longer. We want to fix this node here because it's making a bend since this is way too far out. So I'm going to grab it and make a 90 degree angle with it. And then just fix it over here a bit. Select the node again and continue. And you just want to keep doing this until you reach the end of your logo. Now don't worry about any of the inside parts like this this line here and the eye. We'll worry about that later. So just keep trace around anyways. And there, you have your main outline. Now what you want to do is deselect it and click on your pen tool again, and now you want to do the eye. So you start again and just trace around the eye. Just make two nodes, doesn't really matter that much. And then deselect that using Control and clicking outside. That's what I do. And then you just want to trace around the line here. And then just connect it. Now what you want to do is fill both the eye and this outline here, like by selecting them. So make sure you just click on the path, because if you click in the middle of the path you won't be able to select it. Click right on the outline and click on the outline of the eye, holding Shift at the same time, and you'll be able to select both. Make sure that your line's not selected. And then you want to group these two. You can do this by doing Control G and just puts them in a group. So when you select one, it selects both of them at the same time. So once you've done that, we want to fill it with black. You'll see why. So once they're selected, you want to go up to your color palette, click on the Fill Foreground, and you can double click it, and then it'll open up a select color and just choose black. Or you can just use this one here, this smaller one. Just select black, and now you filled it with black. Don't worry if it looks a bit rough, we can fix it in later. Now you want to select your lion outline and make that white, just so we can see the outline and the eye. Okay, now once you've selected the black parts, you want to also select the lion. So you can do this by clicking anywhere and Shift. So you select the black parts because you group them, hold Shift and then click on the lion. Now they're all selected, everything's selected. Then you want to cut the black part out from the white part. So you can do this by using the Pathfinder. So if you go to Window and you go to Pathfinder, and then you'll have it up here or wherever you want to put it, and you want to select Divide. So let's do this. Divide. Now you've divided out the black parts with the white parts. So just select the black parts with the selection tool, direct selection tool, which is underneath the selection tool. And just select it and click delete. Select it, click delete, keep clicking delete until you deleted all the black. There you go. Now you have the a line outline, just like the black one. But now you want to make it bigger because we want to fix the outlines so they're perfect even when someone wants to make it bigger. So select it and just hold shift, click on the corner and just pull out. There we go. Now we want to make it black because our background here is white. So select it again and make it black. There we go. I'll just move it off to white background here. Okay, so now we see some lines are a bit jaggedy and not looking very nice. So we want to go back and fix these lines. So just go back, get your pen tool, select the outline, the path, and hold Alt. If you just click without holding anything, you're going to delete the node. You don't want to do that. So just hold Alt and pull out the nodes, and then you want to edit the nodes. So once again, hold Alt and pull out the nodes. Pull out the nodes. By the way, I'm zooming out by deselecting everything and holding Alt and just scrolling with my mouse wheel. We want to fix this part a little bit because it doesn't seem round enough. So yeah, keep selecting outside the node. You're gonna do that a lot. Just try to select it again. It's okay, right here we got a round one, which we don't want. Make sure when you hold Alt, you want to pull out and keep pulling out until you have a similar shape as you did before. Because if you don't, you're going to lose your previous shape of your outline. And there you go. Straightened out that. And now let's do this inside here. We can delete this node here because it's just getting in the way. Okay. There we go, that seems smoother. That's smoother. If you want to select just a single node, you can use the direct selection tool and click on the node. And you can use your arrow keys to move it around. But it's not that precise, so I wouldn't recommend using it very often like that, but it's just easy for this tutorial. And there you go. Perfect. Perfect outline. Well, as perfect as the original, so. Now we want to delete this old one from our project. So we want to go to Object and Unlock All. And we can delete this by selecting it and clicking Delete. And grabbing our object, and we can position it in the middle by selecting all the nodes and going to position here and align to artboard, and then we can use the horizontal align center and vertical align center. Now it's centered. Now we want to add our Vanguard text, so you can click T or click on the text tool and just click anywhere and type in your text. Sorry about my clicking noise, but I have a mechanical keyboard. So you can use Shift, click on the node, and pull it up. make it big, and you have your Vanguard text. Let's just pick a font that matches the old one. I picked this one here. Make it smaller. Make it about the same width as your line. So that's about right. And just move it down. And now you want to center it with your line. So you want to select the text and the line and horizontal line center. And then you want to group the entire thing. So grab everything and do Control G. Once you've selected everything, you want to select it again. And now you can do vertical align center. And now you have a completely centered logo on your canvas. Now with the text, if you're going to be creating your own text or using a font, and if you want to edit this font, you're going to have to create it into an outline instead of actual text, because right now I can edit the text. But once you change it into an outline, you cannot edit it with the text editor. So if you want to edit the text, you can right click on the text while selected and do create outlines. And now you have all the nodes of the text, and you can play around with it as much as you want. You know, I'm not going to change it, but that's something if you want to do yourself. And there you go, Vanguard. And if you want, you can add the yellow background. Doesn't matter, just take the shape tool, rectangle tool, and select the color. And here's another thing. If you want to move things, right now you see this rectangles on top of everything. If you want to move it behind the logo, you have to select it and do arrange, right click, arrange, send to back, or send back. Or you could use these shortcut keys, shift control square bracket left, and send it to the back. And there you have it, the Vanguard logo. If you have any questions or any ideas for another tutorial, please leave them in the comment section below. And thanks again for watching Artificial Animation.